Hey guys, this is Max and today I want to review the Canon EOS 30V. It is a very fast and advanced analog single lens reflex camera. You get up to 4 frames per second, fast autofocus and very accurate metering thanks to 35 metering zones and a built-in eTTL2 metering system, flash metering system. What is interesting about this camera is that it was released in April 2004, and back then the digital photography age had already started. We saw the dawn of professional digital photography to some extent, and increasingly we saw professionals and both enthusiasts going for digital cameras instead. So in many ways this camera, while it was very advanced, it kind of missed its market. And that's also the reason why it's a rather rare camera today. Kind of as a fun fact, it's also important to note that this camera kind of looks very modern. If you just look at it, it could also be a Canon 5D or something. But compared to the digital cameras at the time, this looked really good and modern, and the digital cameras just looked like shit in many ways. What is also important to mention here is that this camera has a special feature that is called eye-controlled focus mechanism. Which basically means that as a photographer, it lets you focus on the point in the image that you're looking at while looking through the viewfinder, and it rather instantly focuses on that, and you can basically train it on your eye, you can calibrate it, and then it works perfectly well. And I find it interesting that this feature is something that Canon lost on its way in the digital age for some reason. For all digital shooters out there, it's also important to note that the camera supports EF mount lenses with all their functionalities. So if you are a digital shooter and already have a lot of EF mount lenses, this is a great body to get to kind of complement your setup and get into analog photography easily. In terms of the overall handling, one can say that it really feels like a digital camera in many ways. The main difference is that, of course, you run out of shots after 36 frames, so you have to change film, and that you don't have any kind of buffer lag. So this really eats through film in those 4 frames per second if you need it to, and that's really surprising actually, and it feels great shooting with it. I should also mention when we talk about handling that it's a rather heavy camera, so just the camera body itself is 580 grams, and depending on the lens that you have attached, and if you have a grip as I do here, it gets kind of heavy rather quickly. In order to properly test the camera, we took it out on a fashion blogger shoot together with my girlfriend, because it's exactly the kind of situation where accurate metering, fast autofocus, and of course a reliable film winder come in handy. So I made use of these features and shot with 2 different lenses. The first one is one that Jules owns, a 24 to 70 millimeter Canon L lens. And in addition to that, we borrowed a Sigma 85 millimeter f1.4 lens from a friend of Jules that was just amazing. It's so amazing to shoot this lens. Unfortunately, it's rather expensive. I shot 1 roll of Ilford FP4, a black and white film that many of you might know, and 5 rolls of Kodak Portra 400 that I rated at ISO 200. So to get the kind of pastel look that many people are looking for today. And of course that fits perfectly fine to that kind of blogger shoot. So without further ado, let's take a look at the behind the scenes footage of the blogger shoot and how it felt shooting this camera.
Există momente când toate din capul tău te țin departe de tine. Departe de insule, de poze, de fumat, de ministerul extern. Departe de tine, aproape de tine, departe de tine, departe. Departe de sân, de sex, de ruș, de mov, de sărut albastru Beirut. Urban violet. Urban violet. Urban violet. Urban violet. Mii de gânduri pe secundă, 100 de mile prin gând. Singurătate, antivirus din gând în gând, cu piciorul meu stâng. Calc în capul tău, fără cal, fără plumb. 100 de mile prin gând. Urban violent. Urban violent. Urban violent. Urban violent. Urban violent.
So I hope you enjoyed the images and got an impression of how it feels to use this camera. As mentioned before, it feels very much like a digital modern SLR, and I have to admit I enjoyed using it so much that I actually bought one of the bodies from Jules. He owned 2 bodies so far, and now he was kind enough to sell me one of them together with the grip. So I'm actually now also getting a little bit into the Canon EF mount lens system here. What I also really liked is the quality of the negatives that came out of it and the scans that my lab provided me with, because for me what is important here is that I can still shoot my favorite medium, which is film, but get a lot more exposures than I would usually with medium format and still get a really high quality out of the 35mm film. I was really surprised by that and enjoyed it, and especially for purposes like this, for let's say some editorial work or fashion blogger work, this is a perfect analog camera. And of course you don't always have to shoot so many rolls as I did. I mean, I shot 6 rolls of films, which was not really necessary. I think you can make do for such a session with 2 or 3 rolls of Kodak Portra, and then it's perfectly fine. And that's also what I intend to do in the future. So I bought this camera, I really enjoy using it, and I highly recommend taking a look at it, especially if you're already a digital Canon shooter and have a couple of EF mount lenses at home. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please remember to like it and maybe even share it with your friends. If you enjoy this kind of video, please subscribe to the channel, and I would also appreciate it if you leave us a comment in the comment section below. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you soon. Bye.